This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk about why Web 3.0 is a scam. And this is with reference to a tweet thread by Chris Dixon that a lot of you have been asking me about. And this thread is called Why Web 3.0 Matters. And in this thread, Chris talks about how Web 1.0 was completely decentralized with all these open protocols. This was really from like 1990 to 2005. 2005 to 2020 was really the siloed version of the web, where we had these tech giants like Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook really controlling most of the internet and accruing most of the value generated by the internet, as evidenced by their very, very large trillion-dollar market caps. And then Chris points out that he thinks we're now at the beginning of Web 3.0, which is going to be kind of a combination of the decentralized ethos of Web 1.0 plus modern functionality of Web 2.0. And he goes on to say that Web 3.0 is the internet owned by the builders and the users, orchestrated with tokens. Now, if you look into Chris Dixon a little bit, his Wikipedia article points out that he's a general partner at the VC firm Andreessen Horowitz in Silicon Valley. And if you dig a little bit deeper, you notice that Solana, which is one of the more well-known parts of Web 3.0, was led by two lead investors, Polychain Capital and Andreessen Horowitz. And these were the two lead investing groups that were in charge of the gigantic token sale, which took place in June of this year. They raised over $300 million selling these tokens. So I have a question for Chris. If Web 3.0 is the internet owned by the builders and the users, why then does it have to involve so many tokens given to people like Chris and Andreessen Horowitz? If we take a look here, Solana is one of the largest violators of this ethos, that the initial coin offering really went largely to insiders, VCs, the team over there. So I think this is quite hypocritical to be pretending that this is highly decentralized and that pretending that this can be owned by everyone, while the insiders basically picked up Solana for pennies on the share, pennies on the dollar, and now it's being offered to everyone else. Most people, most public investors, most retail investors did not buy at the ICO. They bought when Solana was already in the hundreds of dollars per coin. So the question for Chris, when he's talking about Web 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0, my question for you, Chris, would be, why does Web 3.0 need to involve so many tokens that were pre-mined and distributed to insiders and VCs like yourself? To me, these tokens sure look a lot like unregistered securities. It's a little bit like issuing shares of stock and raising capital for the company. Now, I'm not completely against this. I'm not a huge fan of the SEC, but I think it's quite hypocritical for someone to sort of masquerade as an angel of light while they are participating on the back end from these initial coin offerings. And I should say, I don't know Chris personally. I'm sure he's a great guy in real life. And I'm also sure now that Andreessen Horowitz probably does not want me as an LP after seeing this video. The other problem, of course, with Solana, in addition to being highly centralized and backed by VCs who are going to dump their tokens on you as soon as they can, Solana has been a pretty bad project. It crashed on December 4th of 2020, and it also had to be restarted again in September of this year. And it's really interesting here to see that Solana, this is supposedly this highly, highly decentralized network, and yet Solana developers have decided to restart the network. Doesn't sound too much to me like a decentralized network. And of course it's not. This is a network that's funded by VCs who own most of the tokens, and it's a highly centralized project. Here's another article talking about their 17-hour outage. So in addition to being VC backed and highly centralized, which are fine, maybe this looks more like a tech company, Too bad they didn't register with the SEC, though. I think they have huge exposure. Gary Gensler's probably coming for them. But in addition to being centralized and backed by VCs, this actually isn't even a very good project. It has this kind of a 17-hour outage in the year 2021 for a new tech project. It's absolutely unbelievable, especially given Solana's market cap. So when you see people talking about Web 3.0 on Twitter especially, you need to take a look at who they are and what their incentives are and where their interests lie. By contrast, DeFi, Web 3.0, decentralized finance built on Bitcoin looks a lot different. We have the Lightning Network, which is a layer 2 solution that's been built on top of Bitcoin. It's not owned by anyone. There were no tokens issued to build the Lightning Network. There were lots and lots of developers who contributed to this. And we can see now that this is a global network and is doing very, very well. And then there are things being built on top of layer 2, which is a Lightning Network, things like Sphinx, which is a chat app where you chat and actually pay using the Lightning Network. This is truly decentralized Web 3.0. And the way you can tell is that Web 3.0, a truly decentralized new internet or new system of money, does not require dumping new tokens on naive retail investors and pretending that Web 3.0 is owned by the users when in fact it's majority owned by VCs like Chris Dixon and Andreessen Horowitz. All tokens are not created equal. All cryptocurrencies are not created equal. Only Bitcoin had an immaculate conception. Only Bitcoin is scaling in a really decentralized way without all of these outages, without VCs pumping the tokens and trying to dump it on you, and without new tokens needing to be issued to build on top of Bitcoin. The only token that's used on layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3 is Bitcoin itself. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.